Hey, I'm gonna pop back in as Tonya Scholz, my other account, my other phone, but I want to be a co-host so I can run the analytics that way. Okay, I'm just gonna be a speaker here so we can get more people. Hey Gino, can you make me the co-host? Hey Carlos. Hey She Crypto. We're getting ready to get started. I just have so much exciting news because I've been working on my website like crazy. But I'm going to start posting all my spaces that I host and co-host. And if anyone has any spaces that they want to promote, I'm going to put it in my event section of my website. It's like an Eventbrite. It's huge. I built it during the lockdown. I forgot about it, actually. And now I'm going to start using it for Twitter Spaces because in this way it gets indexed. And also I already have the embedded live stream already embedded into the event page of each Twitter Spaces. So when it's done, each like for a virtual film festival has its own website now. We're finishing building it up. That would become a blog, and that will have more analytics for the virtual film festival for Geno and for anyone that we're featuring. So, She Crypto, I'm definitely going to do a huge write up about you, by the way, because oh my gosh, you're incredible, and thank you for being our first filmmaker for our virtual film festival spaces. See, you never forget the people who believe in you. You know what I'm saying? Like I met Gino out of the blue, just sitting in a Twitter Spaces. I'm playing music. I'm all about music NFT, and we're talking about spaces, and Gino play his music, and he goes, and I always tell people the story because it really did. And Gino's like, I really would love to do a host, film festival on spaces. And I was like, yeah, that's such a great idea. I said, I'd love to do that too. And we talked about it for the longest time, and while I was busy building this whole NFT music thing that I was doing. And so I said, yeah, we should have a virtual film festival. And then just things happen for a reason why you have to be in certain people's lives for a reason. So I no longer did my other project. So we decided to do this. And our first space together, there was no one there. So She Crypto, I have to share the story while we're getting everybody together. No one was there really. I was a very small space. And people are always so worried about, oh my God, there's not enough listeners there. I'm the old school live streamer, meaning I stream because I want my content to stay there forever. So there might be 5 people today, but 20 years from now, I'll tell you what, I'll have at least 50,000 views on that thing. So she popped in and she started telling us her project. And it's just everything just so magical. Like how from that moment on and then Gino's been going to a lot of different spaces. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, really, I'm creating the platform so that this way the message will get out there and to really help the community. This is Gino's baby. I'm here to help him facilitate his message and what his project is. And I'm here to empower him and his company to go further because I feel like he has an incredible brand and he's so focused and he has such a visionary. I didn't mean to have to start this whole space out about Gino, but I wanted to share that with you guys because I have to look back. I'm building this my focus is socialchats.co. If you guys get a chance, go there. you go to the event section, you'll see today's show on there. I wrote it up like a ticket, everything, because I'm going to start promoting it to all my followers now. So this way they can just come to my website, sign up for a free ticket. I'm going to start giving away some free prizes because the live stream's already embedded into the ticket section. So when you purchase, you instantly get this live stream to this space. But I also want to start giving away free stuff because in this way people will show up more, because we can store this, but it's only good for 30 days and it's gone. So so we're doing that, and then after that it goes to a multi-site, but it's going to go to virtualfilmfestival.socialchats.co. And actually there's going to be a website it's actually a WordPress, and we're going to feature all the filmmakers, everybody. So especially Beem, actually, our partner here. Let me bring them up. Nope, they're listening to the desktop. But I'm also going to make so through socialchats.co, we have a whole section where we create organizers for Beem, for example. If you guys were doing a private showing on Beem, I can list it on socialchats.co because I'm more of the web 2, but we're very deep into social media because we've been doing this since 2010, my platform. So what we would do is get people to either download the Beem app. We will put it in the ticket section. I didn't get a chance to do it today. But the more I thought about it, I want to really feature Beem because really it's an incredible platform, and it's an opportunity for creators to take charge of their project. And really it's about storytelling. And through Beem, I feel like we can do a lot together. And so right now I think we're on Beem and on Twitter Spaces. So welcome everybody to the Virtual Film Festival.
Welcome everybody. So glad to have you guys in here. Still waiting on Gino to pop in here. Sending him a few messages. So, yeah, what's going on, everybody?
I'm just so excited today. I don't know why. Maybe because I just finally got some really good green tea from Vietnam that got delivered to me. But I'm like really excited about today's show because I look back at all the different projects, how far we've gone. And She Crypto is here. She was
Such a quick time, though, right? Such a quick time.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like yesterday we were talking about doing a virtual film festival on space. And how many are we on now?
It was literally like the middle of January, or the 1st of January, around the 1st of January. Absolutely. And look how far we've come.
Yeah, but I just see so much. We're going to go further because I think now all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my God, film NFT. Have you heard of it? And I'm like, been there, been doing it. You want to come check out what I'm doing? But people are so excited about it. And it's just interesting to see a lot of the filmmakers that we've featured have gone so far, especially with the media. I'm like reading up a lot of stories about them.
And like great projects and the filmmakers that we have coming on April, they're awesome. I'm actually excited. We're going to be interviewing our first animated series around the 1st of May, Kings of Rome. Those guys are real cool, man. Their cartoon is super funny, and I really see them doing big things in the future.
But I enjoy watching movies in cartoon and anime. I don't know why. I mean, because it's what I was raised to. But it's I also appreciate the art around it.
And so much goes into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how much work goes into 10 minutes of one episode. We have Mark O'Connor in here. He's next week. That's going to be an exciting episode as well. Everybody's in here. The hidden ones, I think we got hidden ones either booked at the end of April or at the beginning of May as well. Super, super excited. Guys, if you want to hop in on Beem, put the link up top. And I'm already broadcasting. What's going on, everybody?
I'm great. So we're recording now on Headliner, so I can get my snippets, so I can write my articles. This is when I'm not doing anything. That's what I do is sit around write articles about stuff. So
Okay, well, I sent Gino a few messages. He hit me up earlier asking for the link, so I'm sure he knows we start at 12.
oh, can you
So,
make me the co-host? Because the Diacon won't run unless I'm the co-host. I just realized I'm like, and why is this thing not working? Oh yeah, I'm not the co-host.
okay, yeah. So I guess until he pops in here, we could talk to everybody in the room, you know,
So what
let
I would love everyone to do for me, if you could, if I'm following you, if not following you, just follow me. I'll follow you back. And if you're a filmmaker, and if you're going to be on our any spaces that we're promoting, I would love to have some content from you beforehand. I know we want to do it all on Twitter, but I'm really on all the social networks. So right now we're streaming on Facebook page, social chats, our group page, my personal page. I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube. I'm actually on social chats Twitter page right now as we're going. So if you could, yeah, if you're going to be in any of our spaces, I love to feature you. So what I do is I have a whole machine, meaning I schedule everything out, I create content behind it. And if we could do that together, and then I can write a blog about you. So in the blog, I can use all the content that you gave me and embed it back into it. So this way, if anything ever happens, you always, like this is only recording for 30 days. And after that, as time goes by, the more content you create for yourself, the more you can get, especially if you're going to be doing tokens and working with the DAO and all that stuff. Because we're living in such an exciting time, but we still have to be, we're still part of Web2, and we still have to bring people on board. And you got to make sure everything is nice and pretty when people get here. So I think Gino's here. Hi, Gino.
tonight, no one in the house
Hey,
tonight. What's
hi,
happening, brother?
hi, brother. How are you doing, guys? Beautiful room here you have. How is it
Appreciate
going?
I'm doing great. We have two Gino on today. I feel so blessed. And then I have
I
Carlos,
know
favorite person.
it's so crazy. I was talking to Tess this morning. I was I was like, I don't run across many other Genos. I'm usually only the only one. So how about that? Such a unique name. You know what I'm saying? I rarely meet anybody else named Gino. So let's get this virtual film festival started off right. Um, introduce my lovely co-host Tonya.
Hey, everyone.
Appreciate you being in here helping me out. Social chat, we're in the building.
Yeah, that's my brand, everybody, with a live streaming platform. So I used to produce a lot of shows, but I'm more trying to like produce this live streaming aspect of it. So if you're interesting, if you have a great space, you got a great guest, and you want me to feature you, just DM me, and we'll show up. We'll live stream. I'll write a blog about. We sell tickets at my website, so it'll be free. I'm not like unless you want to charge for certain things, especially like going to Beem. I think if you do like maybe use Twitter Spaces as a promo, and then go to Beem to show your feature, and then create swags out of it too at the same time. I think that's a really great way to promote your video or your film or any type of your NFT content.
Wait, let's do that, guys. And if you're on Beam, go ahead and click that link at the top and join us on Beam. We are live. What's going on, Film Freako? We got Film Freako in the chat on Beam. Shout out, brother. All right, y'all ready to get started? Gino, what's going on, man?
Excellent, bro. This is a sunny day here in the mountains here in Mendoza, Argentina. We are like to the west of Argentina, probably near to Chile, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful Sunday, autumn day today.
Absolutely. Your
Right.
your Sandbank sold out, didn't
Yes, yes.
it?
Hopefully, we did have a great moment. Mentalist took every edition of Sandbank in 10 minutes. So it was a pretty high surprise. And I'm seeing lots of NFT film right now, provoking the market. And today, in fact, Juan Ojo Vivo and also Ernesto Cisneros got a bid on a foundation video artwork for 1 ETH. So many things happening right now, interesting things. In fact, Luis is minting today also his part 2 of Elena onto Thalia Space that we are invited in an hour. And well, beautiful things happening really on the NFT film. In fact, pretty glad that's happening.
Yes, it is, man. That's something to be celebrated. It's very, very hard to sell it in NFT, especially if you're just starting out. But you guys have been doing this for a while, so you guys didn't have no problem with clearing that thing out, which is dope, man.
That's right. It's a lot of work, and also, you know, NFTs are also always defined as artists to get into the market. Also, not just because of art, but also trying to be part of the whole ecosystem of NFTs. And I'm glad that we are doing well, pretty well. We have a beautiful future this year waiting for us.
That's awesome. Before we get into your project, let me just ask you more about who you are and what inspired you to jump into film, and a little bit more on your upbringing, you know, stuff like that.
Excellent. Yes, yes, yes. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks. Well, yeah, I'm 47 years old, 46, in fact, about to get my 47. And yes, I've been working since a kid into art. My first thing was photography, and well, I did my first role in film photography when I was 8 years old. And my father being an actor, he also had a marketing company. So I started pretty early knowing artists and, being around painters, actors, and all that was like a pretty delightful stage in my life. So it was difficult to decide what kind of art, I was heading to, and the the common thing was that I was interested in photography, on sound. I studied sound engineering, and later I studied philosophy. So my guess is that I was trying to uh, put all these things, different arts all together, and the audiovisual realm is for sure kind of the realm to put all this in trance and experiment around this. So I started doing mainly documentaries here in South America, and mostly social documentaries, because I don't know, these stories just got my attention. The first documentary that I had some kind of success is about an actor, in fact, that right now he's a pretty well-known actor in South America. His name is Victor Lopez, and he did a great uh, a great participation on the Cannes Festival. But at that time when we did that little short, he was living on the streets, in fact, and that was like the moment when I saw the potential of cinema, and trying to resemble stories, pretty unknown stories, and from the periphery, those kind of stories that we don't we are not used to see. And that got a great success. That went to Tribeca and won like a prize from Spain, from Marcelino Botín.
Wow.
And it was, yeah, that was pretty crazy, because what a story. We just rambled around the streets with him, showing his places to sleep and all the inner course for an artist living on the streets. Pretty hard times, but well, it was a success in a way, and that opened the gate to continue participating and in video art, also cinema. Why not? That's my brief path. But NFTs just exploding right now with all the possibilities we do have to to make this kind of art. So I'm pretty glad that I got here and being near to cryptocurrencies. In fact, from the conceptual aspect of decentralization and all that, that's what I love about it.
That's awesome, man, and that's a huge, huge achievement. Tribeca. Wow, that's huge.
Yes, it's huge if you think it on terms of being like in the periphery of festivals and all that, because it's pretty hard in South America to um, be known as a name or whatever around film. It's not easy. So yes, I'm glad that brought up some doors opening. But yes, always like this I'm talking about my artistic career, but I've been working on the film industry and cinema industry as a DOP and photographer and director for you know advertising and cinematography as a job for a living. And it's like hard to keep those paths in parallel, the artistic and commercial work also, because we have to live.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't take that into consideration. Um, how hard and difficult it is to put out a project in film. I come from the music side, and I'm making a song. It's hard, especially if you're really trying to do it the right way. But film is it's a whole different beast. So I definitely appreciate you guys and what you do, and I'm learning from all you guys, and I, I consider it an honor because you guys are so talented. I wanted to touch on your projects. The first one I want to talk about is Sandbank. What inspired you guys to create that, and tell us a little bit more about that.
Beautiful. Thanks for the question. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting product because I was living for a while in the middle of the country here and in Mendoza. And I got to know a school, a little school, and a little community, no more than 10 houses in the middle of the desert here, the central desert. And it's quite unknown place. And I got the idea, yeah, I got to you know have a course around art for those kids, and yeah, I went there to the school, presented myself, and we started a course around art for those kids. And and well, it was delightful, really. You had to cross a huge section of dunes, you know, and it was pretty hard. I had to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and travel for 2 hours in the middle of the desert in a tractor because a car wouldn't do it. And yeah, and it's hard because also that section, that situation, and they have there, it's mainly impacted. They have a great impact with the oil extraction on the zone. So many of the things they do are, related to that kind of activity, and it's also kind of a metaphor between creative energy and destructive energy, in fact, because you see a lot of contamination, a lot of impact to the atmosphere. At the same time, these kids are living in a dream, it's like just nature and walking in the night. And well, they were like resembling what they want in life and the places that they want to travel to. And we were like documenting all these, and they were having like a brief course around drama and expression, artistic expression. So it was incredible, really, to have that opportunity. So we did the course, we've shoot a lot of things, and when we wanted to do that as a documentary at that time, that was 2009 when this was we shoot this. And the government didn't want anything about this, these themes with the oil extraction as an impact for the kids and all that things that are showing there. They didn't like that that much, so that material never came to light on that moment. So when I met Ernesto Cisneros, the great musician from Cuba, also a great friend right now, he asked me, let's do something with this, please. Let's do something. Yeah, let's do it. And we got this experiment of he doing the music, just seeing a couple of stills, and without seeing any edits. He did a piece of 2 minutes, and I did the edit for the same length, 2 minutes. And we were aiming to the encounter of it, like in an exquisite corpse, to say. And yeah, we were like expecting what is going to happen, when something encounters without, just like an experiment around feelings, and where does concept and emotions can lead us to an encounter without pre-thinking or preconceiving everything. And the result was delightful. In fact, the piece number 3 that just sold out to Mentalist, that was 0% edit to before the encounter. That's exactly the one over the other, music over the edit, and that's it. That's the piece that you see. And we found that many moments, were changing. In fact, if you see this short, the content is changing, at the same time, to the same metrics. It's pretty incredible. The result of the experiment was a success, because it could went wrong, of course, but it doesn't. It does pretty well, and that's kind of what I wanted to for NFTs. Keep being experimental, and uh, analytic around the possibilities we do have here on collaborations, and also the NFTs, being a space to experiment, and that's my guess, and trying to overcome the typical, structure of drama and structure of scripts. And my guess is that NFTs will always be this kind of platform for experimenting and trying to go further in risks, mostly, And yeah, that's Sandbank. That's Sandbank, in fact. Thanks.
You guys did an awesome job on that, brother. Like, is that going to be your last installment, or is it you going to make more of those?
Last one will be the next one, number 4. And when we do that, we are trying to get into Beem. Hi, Beem. How are you doing, guys? And yeah, we will probably may do like a live screening of the 4 pieces all together when we put out number 4. So we
That would be
can,
awesome.
yes, because we love the projection that Beem is aiming to. So it would be nice to have Sandbank also there.
I tell Tess all the time, we're the future, baby. We're the future. So I don't think that would be a problem. You know, we could definitely do a pretty awesome event for you guys. Um, so yeah, my tribe, my tribe. Um,
That's right.
I, I looked at that a little bit, and it touched me a little bit. You know,
Yeah.
expound upon the My Tribe project just a little bit.
Well, that was also kind of a thing that appeared to me, you know, probably when you are thinking about doing art from the start, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. And these stories around social impact and things around social issues, I never thought of that really to be my own theme, but these stories just appeared to me one day. I had my F2 Nikon F2, the roll film photo camera from 1975, and I had a roll. And
Wow.
what what do I do? And so I started walking on the street, just went out my home, and the thing was in every corner deciding to go left or right. And okay, I did that. I did that for quite a while, 40 minutes or more. And I came to this street when there were these kids, cleaning windshields in the corner. But this particular tribe, because I like it to call it that way, the oldest one had 13 years old. The other ones were 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And these kids, man. So I had to sit down there and I opened the package where the camera was and started preparing everything. And on the instant, I had all of them seated beside myself and asking questions. Whoa, a camera, what's this? And I started, taking pictures. And when the time came, I found myself also cleaning windshields. They lent me the tools to do that, and I was cleaning windshields and thinking, whoa, what about if my father appears here with the car and sees me doing this? Man, this is gonna be crazy. And I was doing the job, they were taking photos, I was taking photos from them, and we got a beautiful relationship. In fact, I ended also doing some classes in their school, because they were going to school that's meant for people living in the streets, and I did a course there also. It was a beautiful experience. And one day of that couple of weeks we spent all together doing some photographs, the police came in a very unexpected way, 3 or 4 cars, and they took them by force, in front of
Wow.
my. Yeah, I was with the camera at hand and wanted to take those moments also, and a police just got my arm and told me, "You want to come also?" And I had to remain silent, when I saw that horrible movie of these policemen taking them by their clothes. I never saw them again, because they were trying to clean up, between commas, the image of these kids being doing this at the downtown, in fact. So I never saw them again. And yeah, this is the document of, my tribe's collection is the document of those couple of weeks.
My God. It's like you documented a real life experience, or a real, like, it's so hard to walk around with the camera constantly on. Crazy things happen in our life, hour on the hour. But it's like you captured like this real life emotional moment. Um, and that's what I like about your work. Yeah, that's crazy. And just the oldest one was 13.
Yeah, and he went one of these days that we were all together. This guy that had number 13 years old, El Cordobés in Spanish. He took me and was walking with me and told me, Gino, I have to tell you something. And man, I was scared because what's happening right now, you know? And he told me, whatever you have a problem in your life, you just come to us and we will solve it. You know, it was crazy.
He was
A,
like, we love
a
you like that.
13 a 13-year-old guy saying that's gonna solve my problems, and he did because I was struggling, you know, with a great depression on those days, and he didn't know, but he helped a lot on that path.
Ain't that something? It's so amazing the people that we come across in our life and our journey on our path. Um, People that we meet, people that help us along the way. Amazing.
That's right. That's right. And you think that you are helping them, and it's not. It's not. It's the other way. And yeah, that's why I don't know, this kind of social content has always keep my attention. I learned a lot on that experience when we were sat down in that on the street. People was passing by like there was a wall between us and people, you know. I felt the way they felt of people, yeah, just turning off that reality, didn't want to see anything, and I felt that horrible wall, with of inequity, if you wish. And I thought, man, that's hard. If I can do art, I should be using part of my time to, put all these stories up there somehow.
That's amazing. You are able to feel that and experience that just for that little bit of time, and it changed you forever. You know.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Wow. Paloma portrayed. Tell us.
Yeah. Paloma is my wife right now. And those were a couple of weeks also that when we met, and she's an artist. But
Mhm.
you were asking something. You want to ask something in particular?
No, I just wanted you to just expound on that project a little bit and tell us what that was about.
Yeah, that's right. That's a series of portraits of someone that felt not being beautiful. And, she was struggling with this, like being too unsocial or shy on society. But she was like a pretty pretty beautiful person in all aspects, and just wanted to portray this kind of juncture between darkness and social acceptance and beautiful, and and the aspect of women being beautiful as a postmodern expression between the darkness and what they really have to show. So we did this without thinking really that's gonna be up there, but the result got beautiful. And in fact, that's a piece of that series was my first NFT sold to Judy Lindsay, and yeah, she opened the gate for me on the NFTs around that particular collection. Also, everything on film, 35 millimeters. So it was delightful to see that film also had still, a chance around these new technologies.
Just
Wow.
hearing you describe that, I'm like savoring it because I just picture the feeling of creating it, the content, and then having that right as your storage, but to be able to mint it and put it on the blockchain, and then have someone be able to like own it and like, oh my gosh, that's what a beautiful feeling.
Exactly, Tonya. Yes, it is because it's like for the artist, it's like a moment of acceptance and where something that came from the darkness or nowhere just being there and lots of people, those were taking for us, if you wish. Those were like pretty intimate moments. And we never thought of putting all that in a market. And we learned, to start exposing ourselves and, probably the way of living of all of us artists has something to share with the rest of the world. Why not? Yeah.
Wow. Just the fact that you were able to pick up your camera and put her beauty on display in such creative ways. Oh man. That's genius, my man. It really is.
So, like looking back, Gino, if you were to today meet your past self, right? What would you say to that person before they got into NFT? Did you have any? I mean, I'm sure it wasn't full of butterflies and pink sunglasses, like that's how I think NFT is. But there's some other stories too. So, what would you tell your younger self?
That's a beautiful question, Tonya. You know, you 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 are on the spot that right there because I've been thinking lately that we are telling our past self in a way, via intuition. Just go on, man, because you don't know because when you're doing that, there's like a force, that's driving you to do things, but you cannot preconceive, you cannot be sure on where and how this is going to be in the future. But the feeling is that the same feeling I got when I bought a little of Bitcoin back in 2015 or something. I was feeling like a rush, you know man, this is going to the moon, or man, my art should be there, not just for commercial for purposes, but also from the point of view of the artist, because we are leading another kind of stories when we think about art, the other than commercial way of living, and yes, I think mm, when intuition appears, if you see, if you read some philosophers and you know and the concepts around time from the philosophy aspect point of view, also quantum physics, probably time is not just a chronological line. We use it, for practical purposes. We measure minutes and meters and whatever, but there's another aspect probably there also of existence that allows this kind of communication between different moments in your life. And it's happening around intuition mostly and probably, and those are translated into feelings, into needs, if you wish. And you have the need to. If I was able to tell to my past self something about NFTs, would be the same thing that I was feeling in that time. So I feel pretty entangled with that because I know right now that all these experiments and, us wanting to put out these stories, we're going to have a space. You can't can be sure when it's going to happen, on where it's going to happen, but for sure it's going to happen, because otherwise it weren't that impulse that you cannot stop, that drives artists. In fact, it's because They are gonna arrive some quality. They're gonna be there for sure. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist. And when the time comes, your brain is actually aware what's that happening, what was happening, and why it was happening. But sometimes you cannot know. You just have to be sure about your potency and why it's driving this necessity of doing art, because it has a why. And yeah, I would say just keep doing it, don't stop. And I felt that I was struggling with dramas, I was struggling with depression, but I never stopped making art. Never.
Wow. What you just said, that's right up my alley, brother. Really, I'm into all that. I look at life as if it's our own personal script, and it's like when you try and force things, everything nothing ever happens. I feel like our life is already basically
Can,
already set,
what
and all you
what
have to.
if what if now, since we're talking about this, and like Ray Kurzweil from Alphabet, he believes in
Mhm.
2045, which is we're 2022 right now. So by 2045 we will reach singularity. So what if we
That's what
all,
they're
each one of
saying.
us got a blockchain, and what if all of us meant our memories or our everything we've done, instead of like posting it to Facebook, we find a Web3 platform, we mint our content on there, and people, we have our content organized, and when we inherit different, our family members' content. So over the years, so I really believe when you reach singularity, it's like the only way. It's like I'm not going to come back with the same body, But what if we, all the content that I've been creating all these years since 2006, and I'm like, all now I'm just going to just mint it and store it. Like I'm literally storing like my grandmother's pictures, my like everything that I'm afraid I might lose one day. But if people start storing everything on the blockchain, you think we'd reach singularity if you really think about it? Like
That's where they say we're going. Time keeps on ticking, and technology just gets better. And if we don't get wiped out by some type of cataclysm in 100 years or 200 years from now, just think where we're going to be. You know, so
But that's
something
why
to
I
take
look
think
at film NFT is like something very exciting, because once people understand that concept, the possibility of a blockchain, and understand like, where the blockchain brings you, and what the transparency means, and how, I mean, like living in South Florida, I see people buying houses with just like, oh, I just bought this house today. I'm like, how did you get that so done? They go, oh yeah, they took crypto. So I gave them my crypto. My friends invested in crypto just for fun. They thought it was a joke when I was talking about it back in 2012. I never invested, but these people, friends of mine, are like buying stuff from it. So now, like with film NFT, I really feel people will invest in an experience, and they will collect the experience and share the experience. Like it's like having, like, you might not be next to your friend, but you can meet them in a metaverse, or you can sit in a Zoom call, or you can just share them everything, your wallet, so they can see what's going on. The future is going to be like people sharing each other's wallet, sending each other, instead of like stupid pictures or something, we're going to just like airdrop each other NFTs, because I think that's the new way of communication. I feel like and businesses are being regenerated, having, I mean, when CVS in United States, they're like a drugstore that are getting into NFT. Everyone's going to get into NFT. So
of. Oh yeah,
I just, like we're just so early that I'm so excited. And I feel like having guests, filmmakers like Gino, who is an NFT artist and a photographer too, and understand the whole NFT. And he's a space host also. I was like, oh my God, I got to jump in his space. But the thing is, having people like you onboarding people, and because when people see other people doing something, they're interested. People get. I don't know about you guys, but I spent a lot of my social media time since 2006 scrolling until I discovered Twitter Spaces, where I invented and created instead of scrolling. So um, I feel now the more we get other people around us, so that's why I'm always telling NFT artists and musicians and filmmakers, make sure you like do in real life stuff also. Incorporate your hybrid stuff. So, I mean, like, I mean, we have Beem here, and I can't wait to do a hybrid event with them because I feel like people who are in real life, they're dying to get together, do something together, but you have to make something like it's an experience. People show up for an experience. They don't show up just for an app. They're showing up for the experience, the swag, the NFT, even though they don't know what it is, the concept of having one. You just tell them, okay, get your amount. This is what you need. You need to have this, and this, and make it into an experience. I think
Absolutely.
that's where we're doing it.
And I've been dabbling around with the VR theaters and trying to create our VR theater and get that up and running, the Starseed Virtual Cinema. And I'm gonna touch on VR for a second. When I don't know if you guys have got a chance to try on the Oculus, but I had like a little moment the other day where I sometimes I just like to think to myself of what this really is, what reality really is. And it's such an amazing experience when you put on those Oculus glasses. I was like, what if life is just like us wearing permanent VR glasses, until our experience is over with? Um, I've been listening to and following and watching all the lectures of Dr. Physicist James Gates. He's an astrophysicist who found ones and zeros written into the fabric of nature. Um, and that means that our reality is actually it's digital. So you can go wherever you want to go with that, but that's what they discovered. So I'm like, what if every experience, every lifetime is basically us just putting on some type of super realistic VR glasses until we until we pass away. So, and Gino, he has a VR project um, that I saw. I was able to check out, which is pretty dope. If you want to talk about that before we get into any
Yeah, I want to know
questions.
more about that. I'm like, I shoot in VR, by the way, but I got into VR in 2015. I only got into it because my friends got like they got the first generation of Sony glasses, so we're all excited. I'm in South Florida, so that's where the Magic the goggles are from. So I love it. I used to shoot VR in all my friends' parties. So I like so on YouTube you can upload samples of it. So like you click a button, you put in your glasses, or I guess you can log in through it, depend. You hit VR and it just you're like in it. So Gina, I'll share you some. I shot some in my car. I shot some at Snoop Dogg's concert. I'm obsessed with. I don't know. I should just NFT it for the heck of it, but I'm obsessed with like just shooting VR. Once you start understanding how, but am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong, Gina. When I shot my VR, I wanted so that the person who looks at it feels like they're me. So like I literally like back
The
up,
experience.
I go down, and I go forward. Like I lunge forward, and I like this whole flow, and it was just it was like a stage. So I could imagine what technology is like today. So tell us about that, and I have to look this up because I'm really interested in that.
Yeah. It is in your own spot, and I'm seconding everything you just said. Well, in 2017, I got the opportunity to go to Denver to a collective that's working from scientists to artists into, immersive technologies from audio to images also. And it was huge. We saw the first 8K projection on a dome. We got to know Bjork and their developers of that video that they do. They like it's crazy. They did this huge thing, with drones and everything. And I learned a lot. I was traveling there with a project, probably a future project in some point in my path. It's called Alive Cinema, and it's kind of a patent that I have uh, on immersive media, of a kind of moving picture that's also changing from the biometric information you give to the 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 application. So you just wear and like a system that's in your head that takes your brain waves, and with that information, the movie would be able to change from your emotional states and become something specific for you at that moment. So, in that way, in that sense, movies were like content also with the rules, with rules of, interaction of that content being modified by your biometric information. So we are facing this kind, as you said, uh, Tonya, this kind of reality that's getting complex and complex. And probably the best thing for this is what Starseed just said is, experimenting and trying to know more about our reality and the technology that's behind our reality, because there is one clearly. So this kind of experiments, my guess is on the best chance are going to bring those answers, of course, letting us know more about us and our feelings process, not just intellectual processes, but just also, around our feelings, our desires, and what art is made for. And yes, this is on an early stage, of course. I'm always interested in what VR brings out. But of course, I'm also very, very I cannot stress enough the importance of reality. No, not missing the importance of being healthy. And using this technology for our better, but not just getting trapped with technology uh, on a point of no return where you don't want to live more in the reality. So I'm always thinking of tools that are, you know, giving us something to be better in our real life, also, not just replacing it because we want to run from it. So, as long as these immersive technologies are making, are giving us something to be better in our practical lives, I'm on, but there's always this danger of kids wanting to be there forever, and and there's kind of, we have to be careful about that line, and not trying to avoid, but to discover more than avoid our reality. And well, that's my path. It's a long path. I'm pretty early on VR for that matter. But yes, the projects are there. There are some projects that are before that for sure for the NFTs, but that's gonna be, of course, a turning point on NFTs involving all these kind of technologies.
Awesome. We're pioneers, guys. we're early. We're pioneers. Let's all take advantage of it. We're doing big things, and like I say all the time, Beem is the future. So I'm super excited for where this is all going. I'm super excited for what all of you guys are doing. We got 5 more minutes. If anybody has any questions, raise your hand or click over, and we can ask Gino.
Yeah. I wanted to chime in and just say hello to everyone.
Hey, Beth.
Hey, I'm here. I've been popping in and out. I had a conflicting meeting during this time, but wanted to be here. And Gino, super powerful to hear your words. And as a artistic person myself, I've been following all the different ways that people can tell stories, and think that there are going to be so many cool things happening, in the realm of VR, but also AR. And yeah, hearing you talk about impact driven stories, or films being a passion is really inspiring to hear. And thank you all for seeing what we're building at Beem, and for, you know, imagining how it can be useful as a toolbox for your creations, because I think the point is to recognize you know, the direct relationship between an artist and their community, and make that much more close in linkage, and, you know, reward the creator immediately, and reward them over time for that creation. So just super cool to be a part of this with all of you. And I think it's weird to change the mindset from, hey, I need to create something for this format, to what do I really want to create? Because now that's possible. You can just do what your imagination allows you to get to, and the audience will surely be there and be building it with you. So super inspired by these chats. Thank you to Tonya and Gino for hosting them. I got to get you guys like a little bit more trained up on Beem tools yourselves, so that when we host these, you can also kind of, you know, see each other in person if you want to have that option on Beem. And have any sort of videos queued up, like Gino, if there were any photos you wanted to show today, or videos you wanted to share with people, we can queue those up in advance on Beem, so that you can get the visuals while you're having these conversations. And thanks. Until soon.
Thank you,
So,
Tess.
so Tess, let me ask you something. So like if I'm planning to host like a big festival. It's called FemFest. So the Women Communication, the South Florida chapter is my baby. Actually, I've been doing it since 2008. I'm a bit obsessive with my Women in Communication, but we host these hybrid events. We usually like live stream it, but I want to do the FemFest where I want to also bring in my, you know, we'll be streaming on Twitter Spaces, but I like to see if we can co-brand together. I mean, once you get in with my women's group, I mean, our national group has been around since 1909. So most of these women own like TV stations. They've been around like, they're like big in communication. I'm talking about like Barbara Walker's one of us. We honored Ann Curry. So I thought maybe if we can do a co-branding campaign together and then kind of like curate and have something, maybe get a filmmaker to host an event there, and she's a woman and it's about women empowerment. I thought that'd be kind of cool.
Tonya, I'm all in with you on that.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
And Sherry, who's here with us, you know, as a part of some really interesting networks of women who are filmmakers and creatives. And so I think like the more that we can support each other in these endeavors, I mean, that's always been my strategy with growing Beem. And to be honest, like the founders of Beem, they really took a risk in choosing me for this role, right? Because this is the kind of stuff that I'm super passionate about. Whereas, you know, there might be somebody else who could lead our growth, who would be like, hey, I'm going to go for, you know, the most profitable YouTubers. And that's the bullish way of growing something like this. But I really believe it's about finding the creatives of all levels, you know, at every step of their journey, and making tools that allow them to develop really unique content, because that's what's going to build these direct relationships. It's going to make it what sticks.
Well, that builds a strong community. I mean, if you really think about it, that's all, you know, you look at community, because that's what community keeps things going. But if you go into be bullish, it's just only there for the moment. I mean, you want to be the trend or you want to be the classic. That's what I tell people. You want a trend? It's there for the moment, but the classic will always be around. What would you prefer to be known for?
Exactly. And you know, I think about brands like Twitch, right? And how they grew. And, you know, in the beginning of Twitch, I was working on Call of Duty events, and I was like, oh, who are these people? Interesting. But, you know, for a while, gamers loved Twitch. But today, you know, there's an absence of that sense of authentic relationships and, you know, attention or care for the community. And I just want to make sure that that is our focal point as we build and grow. So that's why I'm here, why I do this.
If you allowed me 1 second, sorry. I'm so glad to hear that. So glad to hear that, because it's so important what you just brought up. And well, you can count with us, of course. We are thinking of something particular. In fact, there's gonna be a huge project that I'm gonna direct. It's a documentary around NFT artists from Latin America. First country is gonna be Ecuador, and we are gonna be on the Galapagos Island, also with an originary culture in the middle of the woods. And it's gonna be a beautiful project. It's meant just for NFTs. Of course, there's gonna be also a counterpart as a film, in fact, but these pieces would probably be minted in Beem, of course. This is kind of the leading project right now, and we are so glad that you are so open. And let me thank you, Tonya and Starseed, for this moment we had, because being from the periphery in somehow, you know, NFTs, that great promise of, as you just said, Beem, breaking cultural barriers, giving choices and opportunities for talent beyond any expectations, just as a concept by itself, driven by freedom. Because, you know, as you just said, NFT art is about being free to choose what you need to put out there without thinking that much on if that's gonna sell or not gonna sell. And the market hopefully is adapting to all this. You know, it's giving us the chance and the opportunity as Beem. So it's a pleasure to hear those things. And thank you guys for this space today. It means a lot for us.
Thank you for showing up, Gino. Thank you for agreeing to this.
And I give Sherry the microphone, by the way, Gino.
Huh?
I give
Yeah,
Sherry
I
the
cannot. I just got robbed.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now, but I just want to let you. I give Sherry the microphone. It's underneath you.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I know you are wrapping up, and I just joined. I just found you. I was in a production meeting. But Tony and Gino and Tess and Starseed, I would love to talk more about the festival, distribution for filmmakers, monetizing content, and just different ways to do film festivals now for filmmakers. I've been in several. And I just see there's a real need to be able to give back to the filmmakers that are part of this festival. And I think we need a new model. I was talking to Tess about this. So I'm going to listen to the replay if you recorded this. And then I'd love to touch base with everybody and be part of this. Thank you.
Yeah, I followed you. I'd love to do a podcast with you for women communication. We help with a lot of film festivals down here. There's a women's film festival that's a big thing for us down here. So I followed you. Let's connect. We'll talk offline.
Okay.
So I'm so glad you're here. You were meant to be here.
Yeah, Tonya,
Absolutely.
Maybe we regroup the three of us and like go over this specific point together.
Sounds great.
That'd be kind of cool to do a space about women in film, NFT.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
I'm there.
Thank you, Sherry. That would be awesome. Let's talk about that.
Cool. You guys made my day.
Coming into the room. Just wanted to. Is Gino still in here? I think he might have got rubbed.
Yeah,
well, hold on. I think somebody just requested. There he goes.
I brought him up.
All right. And like I do every week, thank everybody for coming out. You guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Gino, you were the man of the hour this week, brother. You are so awesome. Your work is inspiring. keep doing what you are doing. You're a visionary in all forms of the word, and can't wait to see what you come out with here in the future. And I would love, well, not love, I will be giving you the golden movie ticket. You are now in the Starseed Hall of Fame, and I will be giving that to you after shutdown here. But again, that's just us showing our appreciation for you. Next week, we got Mark O'Connor. So same time, same channel. Thanks for coming out, and have a good one, everybody.
Bye,
Thank-
everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye. Have a great one.
Peace.